Let's get started. You're going to look at houses. What do you take with you? Well, there are a few things you definitely need. I mean, for the houses you're really interested. First, binoculars, so you can see the roof and other things from the ground. Second, a tape measure to see if your dishes will fit on the shelves, or if your furniture will fit in the rooms, or even if it will fit through the door. 3, you need 2 thermometers. You need one that measures air temperature and a second probe thermometer that measures the temperature of food. It should go down to at least 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When you walk in the door, the first thing you do is put the probe thermometer into a cup of water in the fridge. Put it on a middle shelf back from the door. Then go look at other stuff to give the thermometer time to register properly. 4, you need a mirror to help you see into small spaces and up the chimney. 5, you need a flashlight to see into small spaces. 6, you need a pen and paper to take down information. 7, bring a camcorder or camera to take pictures of stuff that you have questions about. A picture can do much more to help you explain your question than pages of hastily scribbled notes. Now, should you buy a new house or an old house? Well, that depends on you. Talk about this with your realtor too, because he or she knows what's available in your area. But there are some things to consider. 1, older houses may be smaller in a number of ways. Smaller in terms of square footage, with smaller bedrooms. But also, unless they've been repiped or rewired, older houses are likely to have smaller electrical panels with fewer and smaller circuits throughout the house. The incoming water lines are likely to be galvanized. You may find that they've closed down with rust and mineral deposits. You're going to have less water pressure as a result. The septic lines are likely to be cast iron pipes. If there are trees in the yard along the path of the pipe, the roots may have broken into the lines and you could have more stoppages. Second, older houses can be inconvenient in some ways. Floor furnaces take up floor space and don't heat as evenly as forced air furnaces. Bathroom sinks could have a faucet on one side of the fixture for hot water and a second separate faucet on the other side for cold water. You wind up moving your hands back and forth under the faucets. Third, older homes may limit your design and decorator choices. For example, the faucet at the kitchen sink may be a wall mount faucet. When it comes time to replace the faucet, your choices of new faucets could be somewhat limited. 4, older houses may not have complete equipment. Take laundry facilities, for example. Are there any? Are they in the house or in the detached garage? There should be 110, 120 volt outlets to power the appliances, but you're also going to need either a gas line or a 220 volt outlet to supply the dryer. Now, on the other hand, and these are real pluses. First, older neighborhoods are built up. There are no vacant lots. Second, the landscaping is established. Streets that call themselves tree-lined really are tree-lined, not sapling-lined. 3, you'll find that older houses are built differently. Trim, doors, moldings, for example, are made from dimensional lumber, real oak or mahogany, not pressboard and MDF. Wood floors are real wood, not plastic laminates. Tile work can be quite ornate and very stylish. 4, and an older house could cost significantly less than a newer one. So again, it's up to you and your tastes, needs, and wants. Talk it over with your realtor. Let's talk about remodels for a minute. Now, I'm not talking about just a facelift, a coat of paint, and trim work here and there. I'm talking about room additions, taking out walls, and moving bathrooms around. Take an overview of the house. 1, does the layout make sense? Is there a flow to the house, or does it come to an awkward dead end? Do you have to step over a threshold to walk into the new addition? 2, were walls removed, simply making some rooms larger, Or were rooms and entire bathrooms added? I'm concerned, of course, about capacity and connections. Now, what do I mean by that? Capacity. Is the heating or cooling capacity large enough to heat and cool the added square footage? Connections. Pipes to the new bathroom. Were they run inside of the walls, or, because of the way the house is laid out, are the pipes exposed somewhere? Was the addition already part of the house, an enclosed porch, for example? If so, the foundation may already have been part of the original rather than an added section. If the house has been remodeled, ask to see the permits signed off by the local Department of Building and Safety. Now, certainly a lot of work has been done to houses that has not been permitted. If you are set on such a house, then you need to have someone look at it, an expert who can evaluate the work that was done. The owners of this house, for example, are turning the attic into a third bedroom. Maybe the work is being done correctly, maybe not. When the house changes ownership at some time in the future, it won't be a matter of just closing the door and not using this space. It was an attic. Ducts, wires, pipes, and vents were moved, and in doing so, the rest of the house may have been compromised. Here are 3 pipes, for example, running through that attic space. This was the vent pipe for an exhaust fan. This was the vent pipe for a sink downstairs. This third one is the vent for the toilet in the master bathroom. Again, the rest of the house may have been compromised. You need to have an expert look it over very carefully. You know, here's something else to think about too, not necessarily related to anything else. A house with a large family room has benefits. Get a game table or pool table or something, I don't know. The benefits are obvious. If you have kids, your house could be the place where they hang out after school. You can keep an eye on your kids without seeming overbearing. After all, they brought their friends over. And you know who they're hanging out with. Something to think about. Moving on. Yeah, I know no one wants to do it, but just for a second, think about the worst case scenario. What is the most likely natural disaster to hit your area? Hurricanes, blizzards, freezing cold spells, floods, mudslides, torrential downpour. Think outside the box. A while back, Washington, D.C., of all places, was hit with an earthquake. And shortly after that, just about the whole East Coast felt another one. Now ask yourself, the house I'm considering, how likely is it to survive? Is it at the foot of a hill made of boulders and loose fill? Is the house in a low spot in the neighborhood? Is the house bolted to the foundation? Does the roof look like it will withstand a hurricane? There are 100-year storms, 100-year floods. How long ago was the last one? Your house is a major investment. It's definitely something to think about. Here's something else to keep in mind. People use houses differently. That hall tree just inside the front door may have been the place for the previous owner to hang his hat. For you, it may be in the way. So as you walk around houses, try to visualize your furniture in the bedroom. Try to imagine yourself living there. Are you comfortable? If this is to be your house, it's where you should feel at home.
I've got a lot more great stuff for you at houseiq.information. If you like what you've seen so far, do me a favor and tap the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. And click the link to watch some more great stuff right now.